53,000 H100 chips. That is the minimum entry fee for the New World Order. A single chip costs more than a luxury sedan, and the US government just banned China from buying them. The implication? We are witnessing the first asymmetric world war, fought with GPUs instead of gunpowder. The twist? Denying the chips might actually be making China more dangerous. I'm Alex. This is Beyond the Model, where we decode the AI revolution reshaping your world. Last week, we broke down the terrifying math inside the models. Today, we go deeper into the geopolitical board where that math is being weaponized. By the end of this, you'll understand why the silicon curtain is more than a metaphor. It's a total economic decoupling. We are no longer just competing for markets. We are competing for the future of intelligence itself. The shift happened almost overnight. In late 2022, the launch of ChatGPT didn't just wake up Silicon Valley. It sounded a silent alarm in Beijing. For a decade, the narrative was that China was the world's factory, while the US was the world's laboratory. But the Transformers revolution changed the stakes. Suddenly, whoever owns the most compute wins the century. In the last 24 months, AI has moved from a nice-to-have feature in your phone to a matter of national survival. The US responded with the October 7th export controls, a date that will be remembered as the start of the Cold War 2.0. This wasn't just a trade tweak. It was a decapitation strike on China's high-end computing industry. While you were watching headlines about AI art and chatbots, the world's two largest economies were effectively ending their 40-year marriage. The reason is simple. Modern AI requires massive clusters of specialized silicon that only one company, NVIDIA, can currently provide. Because NVIDIA is American-owned and depends on American software, the US realized it held a technological chokehold. But here's what nobody tells you. A cornered superpower doesn't just give up. It innovates out of desperation. The US currently holds the talent advantage. Roughly 60% of the world's top AI researchers work in American institutions. We have the culture of permissionless innovation and the deepest venture capital pools. If you want to build the next GPT-5, you do it in San Francisco, not Shanghai. This brain drain has been America's secret weapon for 50 years. But the part they don't show you in the headlines is that talent is mobile, and the US immigration system is becoming a bottleneck. While we hold the lead in foundational research, we are losing the lead in the people who actually implement it. China's response is state-led execution. While the US relies on private companies like Microsoft and Google to lead the charge, China treats AI as a public utility. They have more raw data than any nation on Earth. In a world where data is the new oil, China is Saudi Arabia. Their privacy laws are non-existent, meaning their models can train on medical records, surveillance footage, and financial transactions that are strictly off-limits in the West. This creates a massive training advantage for specific real-world applications like autonomous logistics and facial recognition. Here's the thing that keeps AI researchers up at night. The compute gap might be a temporary illusion. Despite the bans, Chinese companies like Huawei and Beren are making staggering leaps in domestic GPU design. They are salami slicing the chip bans, finding ways to link thousands of lower power chips together to mimic a single powerful one. They are building a shadow supply chain through the Middle East and Southeast Asia. We are trying to keep them in the Stone Age, but they are learning to build a digital skyscraper with bricks instead of steel. Everything I just told you is accurate. But there's a dimension to this story that almost no one in the media covers. We are assuming this is a two-horse race. It isn't. While the US and China scream at each other, the third way is emerging in the Middle East. Countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia are spending billions to build sovereign AI clouds that don't belong to either superpower. They are becoming the Switzerlands of the 21st century, the neutral ground where the world's data is processed. This is the unexpected insight. The winner of the AI arms race might not be Washington or Beijing, but the one who controls the power grids in the desert. Beyond the chips, there is the model gap. Currently, US models like GPT-4 and Claude are objectively superior in creative reasoning. But China's Ernie Bot and Quen are catching up in functional AI, the kind that runs factories and optimizes supply chains. The part that's rarely discussed is that China doesn't need to build a godlike AGI to win. They just need an AI that is good enough to automate their military and their manufacturing faster than we do. They are playing a game of volume, while we are playing a game of prestige. We are building poets. They are building foremen. There is also a strategic weapon being used that you might not recognize: open source. By releasing models like Llama for free, American companies are actually undermining Chinese state-controlled models. If the world's developers use an American-designed open-source architecture, they are inadvertently helping the US set the global standards. It's a form of soft power. China, conversely, is terrified of open source because they cannot censor the outputs. This censorship tax is China's greatest weakness. Their models must be politically correct, according to the CCP, which inherently limits their creativity and reasoning capabilities. Then there is the energy bottleneck. The real war isn't just for silicon, it's for electricity. An AI data center consumes as much power as a small city. The US power grid is aging and fragmented. China, meanwhile, is building nuclear and solar at a pace the West can't touch. We might have the best software, but if we can't plug it in, it doesn't matter. The part they don't show you is that AI is an energy-to-intelligence converter. The nation with the cheapest, most reliable energy will ultimately have the cheapest, most reliable intelligence. In the next 5 to 10 years, we will see the Splinternet become a reality. You will either live in the US AI stack or the China AI stack. This affects your career directly. If you work in finance, your tools will be built on one set of values. If you work in manufacturing, another. We are moving toward sovereign intelligence, where every nation wants its own model to protect its culture and data. This week, you need to look at the tools you use. Are they built on closed systems or open ones? The infrastructure of your career is being chosen for you by people in windowless rooms in DC and Beijing. This isn't just a tech story, it's a great reordering. If China wins the AI race, the US dollar ceases to be the world's reserve currency, and global power shifts east for the first time in 200 years. If the US wins, we may enter a period of unprecedented technological hegemony, where one country holds a monopoly on the most powerful tool ever created. The stakes couldn't be higher. You are living through the most significant pivot point in human history since the discovery of fire. Don't look away now. 3 things to take from today. First, the AI arms race is currently a war of compute and energy, not just code. Second, the US holds the talent lead, but China holds the data and infrastructure lead. Third, neutral AI hubs in the Middle East are the new wildcards in global power. Remember that 53,000 chip entry fee. Here's what that actually means. The barrier to entry for global power has never been higher, and the window to compete is closing for everyone else. Next video on Beyond the Model: why NVIDIA became the most valuable company in history. If this changed how you see the world's power balance, subscribe. We're just getting started.